What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So the 2023 Texas Pro Prejudging has officially wrapped up, and we actually got to see Hunter and Andrew standing next to each other during the initial presentations. Carlos was off to the left-hand side, and you guys, this was a really close battle between Andrew and Hunter from the second they came out and hit that front relaxed. Both of these guys really brought it, and I mean they brought their absolute best that we've ever seen. I'll give you guys my full breakdown here in a second, but the first call-out consisted of Andrew Jacked, Hunter Labrada, Carlos Thomas Jr., and Louis Breed. So they initially put Andrew and Hunter in the middle with Carlos off to the right-hand side, and you guys, Andrew just looked like he was just, man, too imposing of a presence on stage. Conditioning-wise, I think Hunter and Andrew were on par in terms of that conditioning, but if I really had to lean towards any competitor at this point, well, actually, I'll let you guys know here at the end of the video. Now, aside from the first call-out, they did have a final call-out between Hunter and Andrew as well, and they actually really put these guys through the ringer. They did 3 rounds of the mandatory poses. Tyler Mannion must have really had a hard time making a decision between these two guys. Now, let's just get right down to business here. We're going to start off with Andrew Jacked. And like I said, you guys, from the second that Andrew came out, man, his presence was just way too imposing for everybody else in the lineup. I really honestly think that. I do think Andrew could have had a bit more conditioning in the hamstrings and the glutes, but that's the one thing that Andrew seems to always need to improve on. So he does have some work to do there, in my opinion, before the Olympia. Well, I guess we won't get ahead of ourselves yet. We'll wait for the finals until we really know what's going to happen here. But what Andrew really needed to do at this show was bring the conditioning that he had at the Arnold and the fullness that he had at the 2022 Texas Pro. And you guys, that's pretty much exactly what we saw here. The feathering in the quads, the separation in the chest, he was hard, grainy, great detail in the back. This, in my opinion, was the best Andrew Jacked we have ever seen on a bodybuilding stage. The detail in the quads near the hip tie-in was especially one notable improvement that I saw from Andrew. So next I want to talk about Carlos Thomas Jr. Now, Carlos definitely came out on stage like he was really ready to do battle in his individual routine. He was hitting those poses really, really hard, really squeezing, harder than I think anybody else. Muscularity-wise, nobody was going to beat Carlos. He had the best structure on stage today, hands down. But the question going into this show was going to be the conditioning. And look, I suspected that his conditioning was not going to be as impressive as both Hunter and Andrew, and that did look like it was the case. He did look very impressive in the side chest and the most muscular, and like I said, he was giving it all he had, but he did look like he was lacking detail in the back and in the hamstrings. I would have liked to see more separation in the chest, the abs could have been a bit more dialed in, but the midsection was tight, and like I said, he did have the best structure on stage. So we'll see what he brings to finals. Now, as for Hunter Labrada, the question coming into this show was if he was going to bring a better package from the Tampa Pro. And I think the answer to that question is absolutely yes. Hunter did look better than he did in Tampa. I thought that the one thing that Hunter could do better than he did in Tampa was be a bit fuller as long as he didn't sacrifice any conditioning. And it looks like that's exactly what he did. And he was a bit tighter as well. When he hit that side chest, oh man, his physique just popped, you guys. The abs and thigh was lights out too. Now the only thing I will say is that Hunter was losing control of his midsection just a bit during the last call-out between him and Andrew. He was starting to sweat a bit as well, but overall, Hunter definitely hit the mark at this show, and doing 2 shows is definitely going to pay off for him, regardless of if he takes home the win or not. He did enough to really make another statement here. Oh, and you guys, I wanted to give a shout out to Louis Breed on this one too. He definitely brought the conditioning. He was better conditioned than Carlos was, but I do think the structure of Carlos is going to carry him into that 3rd place spot. You can't deny his superior shape. So, as of right now, I have it Andrew in 1st, Hunter in 2nd, and Carlos in 3rd. But we'll see what these guys bring to the stage in the finals. So you guys, that is going to be your official wrap-up of the 2023 Texas Pro Prejudging. This was by far the most exciting prejudging of any show yet this year. It's been a tight race between Hunter and Andrew, and I'll be back later today to bring you guys the final results. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.